Exposing the strength and vulnerability and shattering the silence around men's mental health. We're two guys creating a space where men can talk, support, and uplift one another. In a world that often misunderstands us, we're here to break the stigma. Join the conversation, empower yourself, and let's redefine what it means to be a man. This is the Untamed Truth Podcast. Tune in, speak out, and let's grow together.
In your life, you'll be lucky enough to have enough real friends to count on one hand.
And that is true.
Factual.
I have found that out. My dad said that to me when I was younger, and I kind of thought he was BSing me, to be honest, because I was like, oh, I got a bunch of friends. But even back then, like if I actually go back and look at it, I was like, I don't have a lot of real friends from back then when I thought I had a ton of friends.
Yeah. And it's insane to me that thankfully I have way more than enough to count on all, probably all of my fingers. But at the same time, I don't use that to my advantage. Like when I'm going through something, I don't talk to but maybe two or three. Because, are they your real friends? Yes. But do you want to burden them with your crap? That's been my struggle. So it's not that I don't have good friends, but at the same time, just because they're my good friends don't mean I want to burden them with all of my crap.
Right. And like to me, the ones that I do burden, I call them my real friends.
Absolutely. Because you know that those people that you burden, they're not going to judge you for it, and they're not going to think any differently of you than they did before you told them your bullcrap. So today we're going to be talking about, the relationship between male friends and whether they're, your real friends or not your real friends, or how to further evolve real friendships and the lack of male friends that most males have, right?
Yeah, because here recently and in the past, like a lot of this has come up, and like a lot of women are saying, my boyfriend doesn't have any friends, and a lot of people are going in the masculinity thing, and they're talking about real friendships and the male intimacy. And honestly, intellectual intimacy you don't have to have with all your friends.
No, absolutely. And in fact, like I think it can really hinder some friendships by, having that. It's like some girls, like they have to be talking about something all the time, or something's wrong. What's wrong with my friend? Why haven't they called me in 2 or 3 days? But I can literally go 6 months, maybe text back and forth 2 or 3 times in those 6 months, and then, plan out something. Hey, let's go get something to eat. Let's go have lunch, blah, 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 whatever. And it's like no time's elapsed. There's nothing changed. We're the same friends we were 6 months ago, and we haven't talked but 3 or 4 times through text. And it's usually just us sending pictures, or, hey, check out this new gun I got, or, hey, check out this video game I'm playing. Hey, what are you doing this weekend? Whatever. You want to come shoot guns? You want to do this? You want to do that? Nah, man, I'm busy. I'm taking the fam to whatever. Okay, cool. Well, holler at me later. And there's never a problem with that.
I just think that comes to the different things that we do. And like we don't have to continuously talk. We don't have to go into deep feelings about things just to stay connected. Like some of my friends, like half the things I don't even know what they do for work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I still, like, if I didn't ask you, hey, what are you doing? It's just because I know about your job stuff. And then whenever you got into realty, I was like, hey, well, help me buy a house. And you were like, all right, cool, let's figure out something. So I wouldn't even known about that unless I was on the hunt for a house and told you about it, just in communicating during playing a video game. And you're like, well, I'm getting my realtor's license. And I'm like, oh, really? So, yeah, I feel that. I know what a lot of my friends do because we met through work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of my friends I met through work. And the ones that I haven't met through work, I don't really talk about work stuff because work's something we don't really want to do half the time. Or we're in a job that we just blah.
Yeah, I understand that. Like, who wants to talk about work all the time?
Well, hell no. Nobody does. Nobody that I know wants to talk about work. Now, unless you're doing something cool. Like if you're doing like your side hustle or something that's cool and you're like, hey man, check this out. I'm building websites, or I'm developing a video game or something. Yeah, we're going to talk about that because that's not just work. That's fun.
Yeah, something that we're doing that's fun, something that we can share. You know, it's not because who wants to share just going to a job, working your 12-hour shift, and there's nothing really exciting that happens.
Unless
most
something
of the
exciting
time.
happens, and then we talk
Then
about
we're going
it.
to talk about it.
Yeah,
You
we're
know,
like, oh, dude, this dude, like just whatever. If something happens, you're like,
oh my
dude.
goodness, this dude lost the tip of his thumb. Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Dude, you should have seen there's blood everywhere. And we're going to talk about that because, I mean, we still giggle at fart jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're still children.
Yeah, but something boring. Like,
Yeah, man.
come on.
This broke down, and I've been trying to fix this, at work. And no, we're not. We didn't want to do it. We didn't want to be there doing what we were having to do. Much less have a conversation about it later on with friends that we're talking about shooting pool or playing a video game or whatever it is that we're into.
Yeah, and a lot of it, in my opinion, comes down to I kind of scale my friends, which I don't know if you do. But like I'll do which I got my work friends, which are different than my friends that I hang outside of work, and sometimes they bleed into each other. Sometimes I do hang out with friends that I do work with, but most of the time, like the people I know at work that I hang out with at work, a lot of times anymore I don't hang out with them outside of work.
Yeah, well, my two best friends are still people that I've known for. Well, one of my best friends is somebody that I met when I was 3 in daycare, and we still talk every week, and we still hang out once or twice a month, just doing whatever. So my friends, two of my best friends, are 30-plus year friends, 30-plus year friendships that we've kept, for 30-plus years. And one of them is, what am I? I'll be 41 this year. He turns 42 next month. Dude, we've known each other for 90% of our lives, so we're still friends. Not as close as we once were, but you grow up, you have lives, you have things you have to do. We both work separate jobs. But I've met some of my greatest friends from work, and I still hang out with them occasionally, but that's another one of the ones where it's like, hey, we don't hang out for 6 months, and then we get together and boom.
Which that brings me into my other one. Like I have just acquaintance friends.
People but you don't.
I know,
really
but I
about
don't really
them.
associate with.
Yeah.
And then you got your friends you talk to.
Yeah.
But we're not like really close. We might go out and do stuff, do fun things. They're people that I like to just hang out with.
Yeah, but you're not calling them at 3 o'clock in the morning if your tire blows out on the interstate and you don't have a spare.
Well, I might try, but
Yeah.
most of the time they probably won't show up.
It's going to be your last. It's going to be your last ditch effort.
It's
your
like
other friends didn't answer.
It's like, oh crap, everybody else is asleep. Who am I going to call?
I know this guy's awake right now, so I'm going to text him.
And then I got my best friends, so I got best friends, which is like an even smaller group.
Yeah.
And then those are the people that I open up to a little bit more. I'm not, I don't open up as much to. And then I have the 2 or 3 friends that, I call brothers because, like, to me, they're family.
Yeah.
Because family isn't always blood.
I've never really looked at it like that, but yeah, I would, if I had to categorize it, that's what I would say too. Because my 2 best friends that I've, spent most of my life with, they are brothers. They're family. And
Right.
like we still, to this day, like I talked to my buddy's brother today, and I was looking for something that I let his brother borrow because I didn't get a hold of his brother. But anyway, he was like, ask your brother because I don't know where it's at. And I was like, all right, I'll call him. So I had to end up calling him, and then he called me back on lunch, but whatever. So yeah, I can absolutely see that that's family.
Yeah, and then so like the guys that I call brother, those are the guys that I actually open up to.
Yeah, and you can confide.
And I will talk about things that anybody else I'd never imagined talking to.
Yeah. Well, I'm a little different than you. I've got a group of friends, and I my thing is, for my mental health, I have to talk about stuff. I have to, and I'm a writer. I write a lot. I write a lot of poetry. I write a lot of music. I write books, and I write a lot to get my feelings out. But writing really does help me, and it's helped me a lot for, I don't know, probably 15 years. But
so you do know I have started journaling.
Yeah, you told me.
And that helps a lot.
It does.
Like, it really does. I just want to touch on that.
Yeah.
Like, if you are really dealing with stuff and you don't really want to talk to some people about it, like, there's some things that I just
can't bring yourself to talk about with other people.
Yeah, I just don't want to. I don't want to talk to it. Just for some reason, like, whether it's growing up that way or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to talk about this.
But if you write about it, you still get it
But
out.
I write about it.
Yeah, and that's something that's really helped me throughout my life. Well, not my life, because I didn't start journaling, and I don't journal daily. I write music daily, but I don't do it as often as I probably should. I could honestly, with what I have written, I could make a career out of it if I knew how to use it properly. But I don't want to turn my passion and my form of therapy into something that I have to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I want it to be something that I do because I want to do it, and it's something that gets me out of my own headspace. Much like music, I love music. I can turn on a song and it can completely change my whole mind.
Which I've heard a couple of years, and I actually like it. And I told you, I was like,
It is. It's subpar, but it's not. I didn't make it for everybody else. I made it because I wanted to make it. You know,
Right.
I don't care. I never had any intention of. Oh, I'm gonna get famous. I don't give a shit. I did it for me. I did it for my own mental sanity, and I love it. I've been doing it since I was 14. I'll probably never stop doing it. I'll be 85 years old trying to write a rap song. It is what it is. They're not great, but I have a good time doing it. So I don't care if anybody else likes it. I do it for me.
which on stuff like that, I think it's important to find that medium
Yeah.
to talk to and get things off. Like maybe you don't want your friends knowing everything. I mean, there's some things I'm like, hey, I don't really want my friends knowing.
Yeah.
But there's different things that I do. Like I still talk to my mom. I'll call her up if something bothering me if I don't want to talk to anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you have to be careful with that in a relationship sometimes, because you don't call and talk to your family who knows your significant other. You don't call and talk to them about what's going on so that it makes the other person look negative, right?
no, I wasn't talking
No,
about.
no, I'm talking about. I'm just
yeah, I
talking
wasn't talking
in
about
general.
relationship
No,
things.
I know, but I'm giving the other side of,
Yeah.
of talking to your family, because I've made that mistake in the past, and it's hard to bounce back from that, because you get hurt and you think that you should call and talk to your parent or your sister or your brother or whatever, and it's okay, but you have to be careful, because you don't want your person to think that you're just calling and talking crap about them just because you're hurt and you're in your feelings, right?
Right.
Because I do that, or I did. I
Yeah.
used to do that because I didn't know how it would affect somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I never took that into consideration, which I do now. Obviously, I'm talking about it, but I never thought about that side of it, because I was just trying to blah, 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 blah about it, because I have to, like I said, I have to talk about stuff because I have to get it off my chest, and that's where my friends have been a commodity that I wish people had.
See.
The group of friends that I have.
Yeah, if I'm going to talk about relationship stuff, I talk to my friends. There's certain things that I talk to my really good friends about that I don't talk to anybody else about. And then there's other things that I'll talk to somebody else about. But my thing is find that person that you can talk to or write, because there's some things I don't want to talk about to any of them, and I'm like, hey, I'm just going to write.
Yeah. I mean, I completely get that, and that's why I brought up that I write to get a lot of my stuff out, and that for me. I don't know if every guy needs that. I don't, but I know how much it's helped me over the years. Like, I've got a 14-page book that I wrote that I initially started writing for my dad because he was in such a depressed state, and I originally started writing it to give it to him when I finished it, right? And then when my dad died 6 years ago and the book wasn't finished, I was a little upset that he didn't get to read it, because I really, really did start the book for him. And then the chapters evolved into a lot of other stuff to help other people, like friends, people that I was in situations with because they had confided in me, and I never put names in anything, and I never, I would not break that trust with some of my friends, but there were situations that I was trying to help them work through, but I couldn't really say it out loud, right? Because when I get on a tangent about something, I just word vomit, and sometimes when I say it out loud, it comes out as I'm an asshole trying to, blah, 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 whatever I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that I say the wrong words, or it sounds like I'm saying the wrong words because of my connotation or my loudness, because I'm a very loud person. Everybody that knows me knows that. I'm loud and I'm boisterous, and I say stuff, and I'm vulgar most of the time. I've really tried to tone myself down for this podcast. I say stuff and it may come off as very crass or like even brutal sometimes. And it's not that I'm trying to hurt my friend whenever I'm trying to give them advice. It's that's the first thing that came to my head. And if I don't say it, I'm going to forget what I meant to say. And it's going to come out in a bad way sometimes. But I'm just trying to say what I'm trying to say. So writing it makes me pause a little. Or I can even not pause and just word vomit with text, and then I can go back and look at it and say, oh well, it's a little rough. Let's take that out and add a little bit of this, and let's soften this because this is a little harsh, and it works out better, and it's better received by someone if I write them something. You hear what I'm saying?
Oh, I know what you're saying. And also, I learned this in English class. What you type and what you actually write, like between typing and writing it out as your hand,
Yeah.
will come out 2 different ways.
Really?
Yes. And the one reason I know that is because she had us do a paper by typing it, and then she said, go and write the paper. And if you take the 2 together, like you're writing about the same thing, but they were 2 different papers.
Really?
Yes, it was crazy.
Well, maybe I should start actually writing because I don't write. I type.
Yeah,
Because
see,
I can type like 78 words a minute. So I can, but it has to be flowing in my head for me
Right.
to write whatever, so.
So I actually take pen, like I use my iPad, but I take
I don't
take a
got one of
pencil.
them fancy iPads.
I take a pencil and actually write. Right.
Yeah, I really think that this is a big issue, and you pulled up some statistics.
Right before we do that. So the one thing that I have had in the past, and every now and then we still talk, but I've had a pen pal I talk to, and we talk about
Really?
yes,
I didn't think that was still a thing.
yeah, like I've met them online and like we just talk.
Yeah, that's cool.
And we talk about all kinds of stuff, and there's stuff that I talk about to them that I wouldn't talk to a person face to face.
Is it somebody that you're never going to meet in person?
Probably not.
Probably not. I mean,
Like I know them, we know about each other, we talk all the time, and like we just share stuff. Like I don't share personal details, but
Yeah.
we get into stuff that normally I wouldn't talk about, and that's another thing that a lot of people don't do anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing that in middle school. I remember we had to write we actually had a foreign exchange student come over, and they came over for like a semester or something, and then they left, and we all got to write them back and forth for a while. And like it was a girl, and she left her mailing address. And I remember writing letters. Like we would all just write a letter and say, hey, what's going on, whatever, and tell them about what's going on in our life. I didn't think that was still a thing. That's pretty awesome.
Which I'm not, writing letters through the mail. Like we're emailing or talking on like a
Yeah, there was no email when I was in elementary school.
Yeah.
If that tells my age.
and like Discord or something like that. We talk through the Discord because we got it.
That's cool.
Yeah, we went from just email to Discord, so that way we could actually talk, and we have a chat on there going back and forth. So what were you saying about statistics?
The statistics. You pulled up some statistics, and this is one of the reasons why we actually did this podcast in session with our last podcast, is because you talked about these statistics when we were doing research prior to the show last time, and this kind of goes hand in hand with what we were talking about with Nora Jones.
Vincent.
Whatever, same thing.
Or Vincent.
Who is Nora Jones?
I don't know where you come up with that.
I don't know. I think it's a artist, like a music artist. Sounds right. I bet it is. How much you want to bet?
I don't know. You're so into music. That's probably where you
That's
got
probably where I got it from. Future Chad. Nora Jones is a 9-time Grammy-winning American singer-songwriter and pianist known for her smooth vocals and chill piano style. Anyway, Nora Vincent. My bad. My apologies. But yeah. So tell us that statistic you told me last time.
I don't have the last one picked up. I do have this one though.
Okay.
Only 1 in 5 men reported receiving social support from guy friends in the week prior, versus 2 in 5 women.
So it literally doubles.
Yeah, pretty much.
Doubles for men versus women when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And I can see that. I can see that coming from some of the people that I know. I'm different than most people. I'm a lot more emotionally charged. I'm a Cancer, if that matters. I don't know that those things. What are those called?
I don't do signs.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't do zodiac
I don't know
signs.
that. I don't know that matters, but I do find a lot of things interesting about it. So I have done a little research on zodiac signs.
Now, I do like the horoscope, stuff like that, but I'm not a big sign person because they're kind of generalized, you know?
Yeah, they are generalized, but if you look into it, there's a lot of stuff that actually does go with it. Go hand in hand with the person and when they were born and all that shit. I'm not saying it's all 100% true, but it do be legit sometimes.
Yeah, I do think like your personalities and stuff do kind of fall in line
Yeah.
with those, but I don't put too much stock into it.
But yeah, I'm a pretty sensitive dude. Like I have a lot of I'm really emotionally charged. I don't know why that is. I don't really care. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm comfortable saying whatever I need to say. I'm not really big on caring what most people think about who I am or what I am. But it's taken me a long time to get there. So I may not be exactly like you when it comes to being able to talk about stuff because I can pretty much talk to strangers about anything. I don't. I'm a very talkative person. Hence why podcasts are kind of my thing.
Well, I mean, I could talk to anyone. It's just that I choose not
Oh,
to.
I can get deep. I can
I-
get deep
I-
with somebody
I
that I
just-
just met.
I just won't go deep with them, and that's just because of trust. I have to have that trust, or I won't open up.
Yeah, and that's the other thing about. But here's my thing with talking to strangers though. I'll never see that person again probably, so I don't care. And that sounds dumb, but it gets it off my chest, and I'm like blah 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 blah, and just say whatever's going on, and like yeah, whatever. And then I walk away, and I never see him again, and that's fine by me.
Yeah, well, that don't even play a role in my mind. It's like, in order for me to open up, like you have to be that friend.
Yeah, I get it, and that's most commonly that's how men are, But I'm a little off if you can't tell. I think it's my tism.
But you do know, like the statistic here, like until I don't know, just a little while back, I didn't talk to my friends that much. But it was one day I was just like hit this epiphany, and I was like, hey, I need to start working on my friendships.
Yeah, and that's something I have a problem with too that I should probably do more of. But I've gotten better since I went blind.
But I mean, most of us don't think about it because
No.
we're working. We got a lot going on.
Yeah,
We got this.
absolutely.
We got that. Relationships come in, and a lot of us dig into that, and we go head first. And then guess what? Who do you annihilate the first? Your friends.
Yeah, but relationships take a lot of time and energy and effort to make right and to get right. And there's a lot that goes into two completely different people with completely different traumas and completely different lifestyles that come together. It takes a lot for those two people to mingle together and figure that stuff out.
Well, I mean, it takes a lot, but at the same time, you can't annihilate your friends because that one person can't be everything for you.
Absolutely, I completely agree. But you have to have the good friends that understand that it's not going to be hey, we're not hanging out every weekend now because I have stuff that I have to do with my family. And here's the thing, good friends, they're going to not only are they going to completely understand it, they're going to encourage it, and they're going to say, all right, I'll hit you up. Let's talk. Let's hang out. Let's go. Let's do a once a month thing. And they'll try to schedule things and times where you guys can chill and have your friendship times and your man time.
Well, I do understand that, but what coming from my side, I'm like, we need to actually sit down and schedule time to go do stuff. This is guy time. What I see a lot of is a lot of men actually deep dive into being with that partner, and then they throw all their stuff on their partner instead of actually talking to their friends about stuff that they should be talking about. They're taking it to their partner and talking about it, which is fine to be able to talk to your partner about stuff.
But it's a lot of additional stress you throw on your partner that they may not be able to handle.
Which you need to be talking to your friends.
Absolutely. You've got to have friends to bounce stuff off of, and you've got to be able to men. I don't know about women. I don't have a clue about any of that. We're talking about men because we don't know about the women aspect of it. All we know is we can tell you what the statistics tell us, and that's take that with a grain of salt. We don't know if it's 100% true. We know what we read on the interwebs, but they are good sources. We have fact checked them a little bit, but who knows if the fact checkers are fact checked and the fact checkers.
Because, like, get this. So, if you got close male friends, like, it's important for your well being.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lowers your stress, right? So, you're going to have less stress because you got more good friends.
That you can talk to about stuff.
Yeah, and then you're going out and you're doing stuff. You know, like, just going out and, let's say, I don't know, we both like to shoot guns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just for an example, whether you like guns or not, this is just a hobby, just for example. So we go out and we like to shoot guns. So us just going and doing that, like even like if we're going through a tough time,
Yeah,
I mean that relieves so much off of you.
absolutely.
Or just going and like let's say we ain't even got to go do anything worthwhile.
Go shopping. Go to the grocery together. Go hang out and go. Like I like to just go and look at stuff. I don't have to buy anything, but I like to. For instance, I like to go to the Goodwill, and that sounds like a girl thing. But you know how much cool stuff you can find at the Goodwill?
Oh, you can find some good stuff.
You can find amazing things at the Goodwill. I like to cook a lot, so I go in, and the first place I go to is the cooking aisle to see if anybody dropped off any really cool cook stuff. Like, be that, and you can see my utensils over there. I buy all kinds of utensils just because.
If you go to the richer neighborhood Goodwills.
Oh, it's better. The Heartland Goodwill?
Yeah, you can find some really good stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So it doesn't have to be anything in particular. It doesn't have to be, hey, we're going to play disc golf, or hey, we're going to shoot around the golf, or we're going to shoot pool, or we're going to the bar to drink a beer. All things in moderation, people, okay? Moderation. But it doesn't matter what it is. Just getting that male bonding time with other men changes the whole course of your day.
It changes a lot, and like I also think it changes stuff for the good in a relationship because you actually have more than just the relationship. But a lot of it, like, yeah, I was bad about this when I was younger too. Like, you just deep dive into the relationship and just forget everything else.
And the problem with that is you burn yourself out with that person. You spend so much time with that person that, and it sounds really shitty, but like it's just too much time together, and you don't get your away time for you to come back together to bond tighter. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I believe that 100%. And I believe that a lot of failed relationships, that's a big problem, is that both parties, not just the male, but both parties don't have friends to bounce things off of and to go hang out with and spend time with.
Well, males need male friends and females need their female friends.
Absolutely. And we all need friends. But that's not the statistic that I was looking for that you told me about. The one that I'm talking about is how many close male friends are different from the 90s and 2000s into today's society. It went from...
That was 10%.
10% then or 10% now?
10% now.
And it was 15% in the 90s and 2000s, right?
No, it's more now.
What? More or less? You're not making sense. Is there less? There's less people that have close male friends. The percentage went down in comparison.
Oh, you're saying less male friends?
Yes.
Yes, I was turning that around to where.
Yeah, okay, so you meant that there was less now than there was before.
So there's more males that don't have
that's what
close
I was saying.
Friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I was thinking.
Yeah. So it was 10% in 2024. Was that the statistic?
I think so. Compared to
1996?
1990.
1990.
Yeah.
So in 1990, 15% of males recorded that they had really close male friend. Right? Isn't that how it went?
I have to check that
it
one.
doesn't matter, but that's the gist of it basically. And I can see that with the era of the internet, and you really can't build a strong relationship with anybody just on the internet, because if you're just talking to somebody on the internet, yes, you can get stuff off your chest and you can have a good friendship, but without the male bonding of going and doing something, I don't think that you get the same quality of friendship. Does that make sense? And
I understand that, but I think I have a few really good friends online.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying you can't, but
we bonded. We did our bonding in gaming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying it's still a different. It's like eating an apple versus eating an orange. It's completely different. It's still a fruit, but they're completely different fruits, and it's a completely different type of friendship.
It's a different type, yes. I think I get a lot more out of in-person friendships, just because like we actually interact, we actually do things, and that's one thing that I think we've had a lot of problem with is communication. Like I know I'm bad at communication. You know this.
Yes,
Like
yes, you are.
I'm a half thought person most of the time, and I'll say half of what I'm actually thinking and just go on with it.
And then expect me to remember what you said half of, or expect me to make up the other half. I'm like, bro, what are we doing here?
Yeah, which I think that's just where my mind like
Disconnects?
runs so fast. Like it doesn't connect with my mouth what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think the whole thing, but I don't say the whole thing.
Yeah, and I mean it's fine. Everybody's different, but you know, the communication aspect is a big thing because like we were both saying earlier, we both and you said you've gotten better, and I've gotten a little better about contacting friends.
Well,
old
you
friends.
think I've done a little bit better.
No. I'm talking about with contacting other friends and like.
Oh well,
keeping in
that
touch and
aspect
stuff.
I've done a lot better.
Yeah,
because
I'm
I
just a
mean
little bit
I've
better.
texted you a lot more.
Oh, absolutely. I think
I've
we
talked
pretty
to you a
much
lot
text every
more.
day.
I talked to a few of you. Like I'll text almost every day. Like my really close friends. There's a couple that I don't because I'll just I text them every now and then.
Yeah.
But I try to stay in contact more, and that's not just I don't say anything like real deep.
Yeah, but it
But
doesn't
I'm
matter.
just
It's
just
still
like hey,
communication.
I'm not a big one on the small talk.
Yeah.
I'll be like hey, how's it going? Cool, and then we're done.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Or
about something else.
you'll send a gun picture. Hey, I'm thinking about getting this.
Yeah, think about getting
I'm
this.
like, no, get a different one. Get this one. Get this one.
Well-
We do talk about guns a whole lot when we're talking.
Because you like guns.
I
I
know,
like
like-
guns.
We definitely talk about guns a lot, which is I love it.
But that's something that we have in common.
Yeah.
Like someone else, I'll talk to about something else.
Yeah.
Just because like our interests are different.
Yeah. Well, it's like some of the games you play, I don't play.
Right.
They don't interest me. But some of the games that you play, I play, and that's when we're like, hey man,
And we'll talk about that, or
Yeah.
we'll talk about something else. Like I mean, you don't have to. I don't have to be really deep to talk to you. And to me, that puts us on a deeper level. I mean, I can just talk. Like I don't have to worry about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I can just talk to you.
Absolutely. And honestly, writing, we do write some, but doing this podcast together has made us closer friends, I think, because we have to get deep on some topics that a lot of people don't want to talk about and that really aren't even spoke on at all, really.
Yeah, well, I've learned a lot about you on some things, and I've told you stuff that I've not talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And it really opens your mind on things.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to sit down and you actually have to think about some of this stuff and think about how a lot of this stuff has affected you over the years and what it's done to change who you are as a person and the things that you can do more of to help yourself grow friendships and to help yourself grow relationships and help just make you a better human altogether.
Yeah, I'm trying to grow as a person altogether.
Yeah, because we want to be the best version of ourselves, and there's a lot of times where, especially for me, like I know I'm never going to get there. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to meet or exceed what I've always expected of myself.
Well, that's always good because you always want the bar high.
Yeah. Well, but you can set it too high sometimes.
No,
And I've done that before.
See, I don't think so. Your big main goal, the really big goal, should be one that you always strive for.
Yes, I agree. But
now on the goal aspect, if you need to set some that you reach.
yeah, and that's been my problem in the past. Is I set all of my goals to an unobtainable spot.
Yeah. Like now that ain't healthy.
That's a whole different.
Yeah,
that's a whole different place to be in.
That's
Absolutely.
a whole different podcast.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. But building friendships is something that I've never really had a problem with. But finding quality people is something I've had a problem with because there's so much going on in the world today. You know what I'm saying? And I was about to wrap us up.
Yeah.
Anyway, but there's so many people out there that aren't real, and I don't think they're purposely fake, but I think they put on this mask for so long that they don't realize that it's see through.
So one of the things I think is, the social aspect, like us growing up, like nowadays, like, so back when we were growing up, we didn't have all the internet and everything shoved in our faces. Now, all that shoved in your faces, and this is you get, this is the norm, this is how to be.
Yeah.
And it's shoved in your face, and where everything shifted, the society shifted from, the masculine stoic man to this feminized man, which I don't agree with. I still think men are masculine, and
Yeah, they
and
should
that,
be.
and that we should be men. Like,
Yeah.
let men be men.
Yeah. And we're not talking about toxic masculinity and being, a woman's place is in the kitchen. That's absolutely not what we're talking about, because that's the other far side of it that we're not,
Well,
condoning.
most men aren't one way or the other.
No, we're in the middle.
We're in the middle.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be.
But like, so when you see that growing up, like, it's shoved in these kids and everyone else's faces. I call them kids, but young men's faces. And this is how they see that they are supposed to be, and then they enact it.
Yeah, and that's the biggest part of the problem, and the biggest part of why the internet is so damaging to the younger generation. But I've also read some stuff that's saying that a lot of younger men and a lot of boys are leaning more towards being more masculine and doing more masculine things outside of how society has tried to force them into being feminine. And
Yeah, because they're figuring out that, hey, this is not working.
no, it's not. Like, it's completely backwards to what we should be.
Yeah, like, just opening up on your feelings and stuff like that. That's not how us as men actually combat our problems. Like, we're more logical in the way that we think than emotional.
And we want to fix things.
So we approach things on a logical level rather than an emotional level.
For the most part.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you do get emotional and talk about stuff, but like, you're gonna do that to a select few.
Yes,
you're
absolutely.
not gonna do it to everybody.
And there's some people, and the people that don't do that or don't feel like they're capable of doing that or have the people that they can do that with, they really do struggle with that. And it continues to be an issue long after they become an adult.
And like I said, if you don't have that somebody to talk to,
It makes it very hard.
you got 988 you can call
Yep, absolutely.
and actually talk to somebody. And talking to a therapist is not bad.
No, and it used to be very frowned upon, and why does your weak ass need to have a therapist? No, dude.
Yeah, but like, even if I did talk to one, I'm not gonna blast it to everybody. That's between me and them.
Yeah, but if you did, it's still not as frowned upon now as it was. Therapy was for females whenever I was young.
Yeah.
Girls, females went to therapy. Men did not go to therapy unless it was marriage counseling, and that was because your marriage was falling apart because one of you cheated or you couldn't get your head out of your ass or whatever it was, and somebody wasn't happy, so you had to go to marriage counseling to try to fix your problems.
But I think a lot of men therapy can be done by going out and doing men things.
Absolutely.
Go hunt, go hike, get out in nature, go camping,
Do something.
hang out with your friends, go fishing.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Manly stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and it just takes us back to our core.
One thing I want to do.
What? And don't say skydive because I'm out, dog.
Well, I've always wanted to do that, but
I can't. No, I can't do it. I do not want to do it.
But no, throw axes.
Oh, dude, I love it. You've never thrown axes?
I have not.
Oh, dude, I wish I lost mine. I had like one I bought off Amazon. It was
Yeah.
a cheapie. It was a piece of crap, but dude, it was so much fun. I got a tree down there. It's got like cuts in it where I threw axes at it.
I've always done the throwing
Throwing stars.
those throwing stars,
Yeah.
the
I
throwing
used to do that when I
knives,
was a kid,
the
dude.
darts and stuff. I always had them.
Yeah, I got throwing knives somewhere.
But I've never had that, like an. Have you seen the
so
ones
much
they
fun.
had got at
Battle axes?
yeah, those big axes they throw?
Yeah, that I'm not
want,
trying
I
that.
want to do that.
I'll cut my leg off or something.
I want to do those.
I'm so uncoordinated and blind now. I don't even want to try it. Like, I used to love to throw darts. Like, I got dart boards and stuff that I used to want to, I'm going to throw darts. I'm going to throw darts. Dude, I haven't thrown darts in so long. I bet I can't even hit the dart board.
But yeah, what I was saying is, like doing manly things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I call them manly thing. Like anybody can do them.
Yeah.
But like, that's just something that
Typical males
typical
are like, "Urgh."
typical males like to
Yeah.
do. You know, go out and compete.
Yeah,
We love to
absolutely.
compete, have fun,
Even if it's just something as simple as like
horse around.
go out and throw a football and see who can throw it the farthest. We as a male, like I don't like throwing footballs. I'm a baseball guy. If I'm gonna go out and play with something with a sport, I'm throwing ball like
Yeah.
baseball. But it's simple little things that just take you back to your primal, like what you are as a male.
And I tell you what, if we're hanging out and I'm calling you things, making fun of you, stuff like that, I'm not really good at it. I won't lie.
Yeah, you suck at it.
I'm not real good, but I'll do it
Yeah,
because that's just what us men
we
do.
do poke and prod, and here's the other thing.
And that means that is me showing my love to my friends.
Absolutely. If your friends are not making obscure jokes about you right to your face, then you probably don't have good friends. Like,
Well, I mean, there's also the other side of that because I've had a few people do that. They take it too far, and
I take it too far. Every
they
time.
they take it to like it, but it,
Demasculating. Is that the word I'm looking for?
something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not good with those big words. I try to say them
It-
sometimes, but they don't make sense.
So it's kind of like they're coming out and trying to be
The alpha.
be better than
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It's
And
like
like in the group, like in the group setting, it's just like you're putting off this vibe, like, oh, I'm the best in the group,
Yeah.
and it's like, chill out, dude.
we know a couple of those.
And like it's
Mutual
like
friends.
it's like bring it down a notch.
we
Come
don't
back
care.
come back to the group. We don't care.
No.
We're just in the group.
And my favorite is the one-uppers.
Uh,
The one-upper storytellers.
or the one that knows everything.
Oh, man.
Not just the one upper, but the one that knows. But if you take the two, put them together, I knew a guy like that. He knew everything and one upped you.
Yeah.
It gets annoying.
I like to tell stories, so maybe I'm that one-upper guy sometimes. Because I'll be like, if you tell us, like for me, it's like embarrassing stories. If you tell an embarrassing story, I promise you I got one that's way worse. Like, it's the Walmart
One-upper.
bathroom story. Yeah.
One upper.
I might be a one-upper when it comes to embarrassing stories because, boy, I be doing some dumb stuff. 100%, all the time. Just-
Yeah, but it's all good. Like we're good friends, and
Oh,
like
yeah.
I know you, so like it's different.
It's different when
Now it would be different if we were just friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you know, I'm kind of like if we're just friends, I'm like tone it back, man. You know, just chill. We're just having fun.
Like me with guns, I don't know an extreme amount about guns. Like the other day, we were talking about ARs, and I knew there was some reason why both bullets fit in my AR, but I wasn't aware of what it was until you said it. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I was like, I know, yeah. Trying to sound like I knew, but I had no clue. I was like, oh, okay, that's why. So both of them fit at one size. All right.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you one or the other, and you were like, well, both, and I was like, well, so it's this one
Yeah,
then.
so it'll shoot both, but I don't know what I didn't know. But now it makes perfect sense after you said that. I was like, oh, okay, so it has to be chambered in 5.56 for it to shoot 2.23.
Yeah,
So-
but the only reason I know that's because I was looking at
Buying one.
buying one, and I actually looked it up. Other than that, I would have had no clue.
Yeah, well, I knew something. I knew there was a reason, but I never really put two and two together because I didn't care.
Yeah.
But then you were like, this is why. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I knew that. I didn't know that. But I was just trying to type and get typed out. Like, blah, 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 so
Yeah.
we can move on. I was actually, whenever you texted me, I was looking for a picture of my gun to send you, and I couldn't find one.
Oh.
Because I don't know if I have the Sport 2 or the Sport 3. I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anyway, I bought some rounds for it today, so we can go shoot it.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, yeah, we're going to.
Oh,
It's all about 2 boxes of shells.
I love to go.
Oh, it's fun. I can't. It's not good for me because I can't see out of the sight anymore, and you can't shoot that gun left-handed because of the ejection. So that kind of sucks for me. But I can watch other people shoot it, and I enjoy it. I enjoy watching people shoot.
Pistol, right?
No, it's an AR-15.
Error, yeah. Yeah, we'll have to see about doing that thing we're talking about. But anyway, so here's a quote that I really enjoyed. So, guys who struggle with emotional intimacy, are more likely to withdraw and isolate themselves during times of stress when they need it the most.
Yeah, but tell me that doesn't make perfect sense though.
That's from Robert Garfield.
Yeah. Tell me that doesn't make sense though. Like
It does.
if you don't have anybody close that you can talk to, and here's the other thing: like if you're in a relationship There are things that you don't want to talk to with your girl about.
No.
There are things that you need to have a guy friend talk about, just like girls need to have a girl to talk to a girl about girl things.
Yeah, because like in a relationship aspect on that part, I really think you need to keep the masculine stoic persona, whether or not like you're going through something. Like you can be vulnerable a bit, but like there's that point. There's like a point there to where you need to cut off and talk to your friends about stuff.
Look, man, I'm coming from being married for almost 20 years and being in a 3-year relationship after that, and multiple relationships before that. There is a different level of being able to be vulnerable with someone that enhances the love aspect of your relationship. I'm not saying that you can't withhold some of that masculine energy stuff for someone else, because I absolutely think that you should talk to your male friends about stuff. You need to have male friends to, even if it's just the dick and fart jokes, man. Like it's something that we need. We need to be. I mean, think about back in the day, back in the day, were any women on the hunting trips? Absolutely not.
Right.
It was a bunch of dudes going out and hunting and providing for their tribe. And we need that still today. There's no difference then. There's no difference now that there was then.
So what I'm saying is, so like once you, like there's a point, there's a line. Like just imagine that there's an
I absolutely
imaginary
agree.
there's a
There,
line.
there is a line. There's certain things you can't talk about.
So there's certain things you want to talk to your male friends and certain things you want to talk to your significant other.
I agree with that.
And you don't want her to be a sounding board for you, because then she becomes the sounding board
for everything.
And quote mother figure.
Yeah.
She becomes that
in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I absolutely agree. But there is
and what it does is, once you do that, that relationship changes.
Yeah.
Because now she's that motherly sounding board.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to her talking about being all vulnerable and doing this and doing all, crossing that line.
Yeah.
And now you're starting to seek validation from her.
Yeah.
Whereas you shouldn't be doing that, and taking all most of that you're doing and talking to your male friends about it.
Yeah.
Relationship
I get what you're saying.
Relationship issues, talk to your male friends about it.
Yeah. Because it's not gonna change the relationship to talk to her about something that you're struggling with whenever it comes to certain things.
Right.
Yeah. So I get that part of it, but there's a different level of intimacy that comes from being vulnerable with your person, 100%. And I know because I've lived it multiple times.
Like
so,
I wasn't saying not being vulnerable.
Yeah. I know what you're saying, but there's definitely a time and a place.
There's that line.
Yep. Because you don't want it to be I need a affirmation from you about everything.
Yeah, I'm a total non-need person.
Yeah, well, there's
need.
Stuff, yeah, I get what.
No, it's need. Now there's a difference between me needing and me wanting.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Now I want, I don't need.
Yeah, okay, that I'll absolutely agree with.
See
because
what I'm saying?
it's not a need, because I'll be just fine, but I do want certain things. But I'm very vocal about what I want, and I have no problem saying exactly what I want and what I expect. And if my expectations aren't met, and if I'm not meeting their expectations, then it's not going to work. It's not going to last. It's not going to be a healthy relationship, and it's not something that I'm interested in.
Right.
At this point in my life, I'm almost 41 years old. I don't have the capacity for it.
So, out of all this, like, to be better friends, like, I've started, doing the active listening.
Yeah.
Like, I try to listen more and not try to fix your problems all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes, and that's something that's hard to learn.
It is very hard.
Oh, my goodness.
Because, like, if you tell me something, I'm wanting to fix it.
Yeah, and that's how we are.
To fix it.
Yep.
So, I try to pull back a little bit and listen, and then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And then if we'll kind of brainstorm together, but I'm not gonna, hey, and sometimes I'll tell you, but hey, this is what I would do. Whether you do it or not, that's up to you.
Well, we've had that kind of conversation before.
Yeah.
100%. You have said that exact thing to me. Look, here's what I'd do. I don't know if this is just my opinion. This is what I would do. You take that however you want, and you can use it, or you can, try a different way. We've had that conversation.
Yeah, and I'm like, if you do or don't, I mean, that don't affect us.
Yeah.
It's just, here's my opinion. And then kind of normalize sharing feelings. And like I said, I only do that to a certain few. And like I'll share, actually go deeper into things, but like I'm not a real Philly person.
Yeah. And that's another good thing about us both being on this podcast together is I'm a very, very emotionally charged man. I'm very in touch with my feelings, and I always have been. I've always been super sensitive, and don't get it twisted. That doesn't take away from who I am as a man. But I've been in touch with that for a long time because I'm a different kind of person than you. And that's another great thing about our differences on this podcast.
Yeah, like I'm just not a Philly person. I
get it.
I just haven't been for a long time.
Most of my friends aren't either. And I think that is another reason why I have so many close friends.
Right.
Because I've always been that springboard for them, and I've always been able to help a lot of friends with relationship stuff. I still have friends that talk to me when something's going on in the relationship because I don't know if it's just that I'm good at it or if when they need to know what I think, they know that I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to say what I need to say.
Well,
if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't.
Well, I don't think a true friend will pull punches. They're going to tell you what they think.
Yeah, well, some people are afraid that they're going to ruin the friendship with that. But if I'm close enough to you that I can say whatever I want to say and know that it's not going to do anything to our friendship but make us closer, then I'm going to say whatever I need to say.
Well, that's why I said a real friend.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. But like we said in the very beginning of this podcast, so few men have even one close friend that they could talk to about anything. Not just some things, but anything.
But like that goes back to building this relationship like we're talking about right now. And like the next thing that I actually do is try to respect boundaries.
Absolutely.
Like there's some things you don't want to talk about, we're not going to talk about them.
Yeah.
There's some, you might have some other boundaries. Like just for an example, showing up without calling or something.
That is one of my things. I don't like for people, and especially with my vision as bad as it is now, I've actually, and take this how you will, but I've actually pop shotted into the yard when people have showed up in cars that I don't know because I live on a farm, and if you come here, I need to know you're coming here because I'm here to protect my family. And I live on a farm, and we have a long driveway, and there's a lot of strange people that may or may not pull up this driveway, and I consider that threatening, to me and mine. So I like to make sure that everybody knows that if you're going to come out here, let me know so that I can be aware that somebody's going to be coming up my driveway.
Exactly. And so like another example of, like a respect boundary, like one that I have is if I'm talking about something and I just stop talking about it and I don't keep going on and on, don't pry at me about it because like I probably don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's going to make you shut down and stop trying to confide in those people anyway.
Right.
Yeah, I absolutely get it.
And then like the last thing is positive reinforcement with my friends, like in a positive way. So like even though that me and you were joking, like we were talking about earlier, that's not a negative way. We're not putting each other down.
No,
we're having fun.
Yeah, we're just
and that's
joking.
between friends.
Absolutely.
Now, if you were somebody else that I wasn't as close to,
that wouldn't be good.
I wouldn't be talking to them like that.
Yeah, we're gonna have some trouble if you talk to me like you're my friend and I don't know who the hell you are. We're gonna have some problems.
Yeah, so that's another boundary thing. Because with different friends, you got different boundaries.
Absolutely.
So those are some of the things to work on with your male friends. Also, is time. Taking time because like. All the time you hear, I don't have time, you put, and everybody puts low energy into their actual friendships, which we need to put more energy into our male friendships and actually start making time.
Yeah. Because it tells someone a lot about how much you care about them by giving them your time. Because let's be honest, the most expensive and valuable commodity that we have is our time.
So, have you ever sat down and wrote down exactly what you do in a day?
No.
So if you ever do, like I did it one time, because I actually sat down and I wrote down everything that I did that day, and the times that I did it. Right.
Yeah. So you
So
recorded your time on.
I recorded my
like,
time of
eating, taking a dump, taking a
everything,
shower,
everything I did
for a whole day.
I did it for a few days. So
Okay.
this way you find out like what you're actually doing in a day. So I found out during those days, I wasted over 5 hours a day.
On just stupid stuff.
Just
that didn't
stupid
matter.
stuff.
Yeah.
That
Scrolling
didn't
on your
matter.
phone.
And then at the same time, we're spending all this time just wasting time. And then you turn around and you're telling your friends, I don't have time.
Yeah.
I had 5 hours a day if I would actually sat down and, productively had my day more scheduled and, together rather than, doing the chaos thing, which I'm bad about. I don't really schedule a whole lot unless it deals with with my job.
Yeah.
Once it goes to the job time, then I'm
in job mode.
Mr. Schedule job mode.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't really schedule.
Yeah.
I kind of go, do whatever comes up. If I feel like going fishing, then I go fishing. That's just part of it, you know. But I like to be a little bit more spontaneous in life.
Yeah, absolutely, and I like the spontaneity too. I think that showing people that they are valuable, they are not valuable, but they are worth our time. It's something as simple as just like you said, a phone call, text, hey, what's up? It's literally, if you said you had 5 hours of just time that you
just wasted,
it would take 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
So,
well, I mean, less than that, send you a text. If
yeah,
I'm just going to text
3 seconds, and then I can text you back whenever I get back to my phone. Like if I'm in the middle of a video game or cooking dinner or whatever.
The one thing I like about text is I can send you a text. It don't matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And you get it.
Yeah.
And then when you respond, you respond.
Yeah.
I mean, you ain't got to respond right away because I'm not going to be sitting there like, oh my goodness, is he going to text back? No,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to send it to you, and then when you respond, I'll send back if I can. That's just that's how I see text.
That's the beauty of text messages.
Now, if I'm calling,
that's a different story.
I want to talk to you.
Yeah,
there's
something important going on.
There's something I want to talk to you about, whether it's important or not. For some reason, I'm wanting to talk to you.
Well, it's important to you because you're making the phone call.
Yeah, but some things I call for, it's not even important to me.
It doesn't matter.
It's because I'm just wanting to talk.
Well, I mean, and here's the other thing with having a phone and giving people access to you. Just because you have a phone and have their phone number doesn't mean that you have 100% access to them at all times.
Yeah, like I don't expect you to answer all the time. Like if you answer, you answer. If you don't, I get it.
Absolutely.
If it's something like really important, if I don't get you on the phone,
I'm gonna text you and say, "Hey, call me as soon as you can."
Hey, important.
Yeah.
Call me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big one on leave voicemails, so you probably won't get a voicemail from me.
I don't.
And if I do leave a voicemail, you know it's important.
Oh, if I leave a voicemail, it's gonna be like, "Hey, bitch, call me back," or I'm gonna fart into the phone. That's my favorite when I've got one built up and I can just leave a big wet fart on the phone. Oh man, people hate that too. Just so you know, they're like, "Why would you do that? That's so gross." I'm like, I love it.
I would think it's funny, but
I would.
That's just me.
We need to have like a fart war with people. Like that should be a male bonding thing. Where we just fart on voicemails to each other. But we've been about an hour in, and it's time to wrap this show up. So, any last words for the people listening?
It just comes down to I think you need to, if you really want these people in your life, like your male friends in your life, make time for them, set time aside. We got plenty of time in a day.
Just to shoot a text, man. It's simple. It's easy. It may change someone's whole aspect of the day just to get a text from somebody.
I mean, don't use, family, friends, any of that as, work or any of that as an excuse. Because if you actually want these people in your life,
you'll make time.
You're going to make time.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we hope you guys enjoyed this show. If you guys need anything, we have all of our socials, and you can message us on there. You're having some trouble, need to talk to somebody, we're both open to just be here for people. Like, that was the point of this show, is to be an outlet for somebody that may need it. So if you need anything, hit us up.
Talk in the comments.
Like,
whatever. Subscribe, share it.
Because our hopes with this is that if it helps one person, then we've done what we were supposed to do. All right, y'all, peace out.
Thanks for tuning in.